Why do we keep texting someone who clearly doesn't want to hear from us? And more importantly, what happens when you finally stop? Because what I'm about to tell you will completely change how you think about dating, relationships, and your own self-worth. But first, let me tell you about the biggest mistake I see guys making every single day. If you're watching this, chances are you're holding your phone right now, thumb hovering over her name. You've drafted that text 5 times. You've analyzed her last message word by word. You've convinced yourself that one more perfectly crafted text will somehow change everything. But here's what you don't realize yet. That urge to text her is actually destroying any chance you had with her. And I'll prove it to you. But before I explain why texting her is relationship suicide, you need to understand the psychology behind why you're doing it in the first place. Because once we fix this core issue, everything else will make perfect sense. Think about it. When was the last time chasing someone actually brought them closer to you? I'll wait, because it doesn't happen. Not in real life. But here's the part that will blow your mind. There's actually a scientific reason why chasing pushes people away. And understanding this one principle will save you years of heartache and frustration. The moment you feel the urge to text someone who's been distant, cold, or unresponsive, that's exactly when you need to put the phone down and walk away. But don't do it yet, because if you stop texting her without understanding the deeper strategy I'm about to share, you'll just end up making another critical mistake that ruins everything. Here's what happens when you keep texting her. You become predictable, you become safe, you become the guy she knows will always be there, always available, always ready to give her attention whenever she needs a little ego boost. And once you become that guy, you can never be the guy she actually wants to be with. But there's a specific reason why this happens, and it has nothing to do with what you think. You see, attraction isn't logical. It doesn't follow the rules of fairness or reciprocity. You can't nice your way into someone's heart. You can't text your way into someone's bed. You can't prove your worth through persistence. In fact, the more you try to prove your worth, the less valuable you become. But understanding why this happens is only half the battle. The other half involves a complete mindset shift that most guys never figure out. This is the hardest pill to swallow, but it's the most important one. When someone wants to talk to you, they will. When someone misses you, they'll reach out. When someone values your presence in their life, they'll make an effort to keep you there. Your job isn't to convince them of your value, but here's where most guys get it completely wrong, and it's costing them the relationships they actually want. Right now, you're probably thinking about all the reasons why your situation is different. Maybe she's going through a tough time. Maybe she's just busy. Maybe she doesn't want to seem too eager. Maybe she's testing you to see if you'll fight for her. But I'm about to share something that will completely shatter these excuses and show you what's really happening. A woman who wants you in her life will make room for you in her life. Period. She won't leave you guessing. She won't make you chase her. She won't make you feel like you're bothering her every time you reach out. The right person for you will meet your energy, not drain it. But recognizing this is useless unless you know how to respond when you're not getting that energy back. But here's where this gets really interesting. And this is the part that changes everything. The moment you stop texting her, something magical happens. Not with her, necessarily, but with you. You stop being reactive. You stop being desperate. You stop organizing your entire emotional state around someone else's responses or lack thereof. But this transformation only works if you understand the specific steps I'm about to give you. When you put that phone down and resist the urge to text, you're doing something revolutionary. You're choosing yourself. You're saying that your time, your energy, and your attention are valuable commodities that can't be given away freely to someone who doesn't appreciate them. But most guys stop here and wonder why nothing changes. There's a crucial next step that makes all the difference. And here's the beautiful irony. The less available you become, the more attractive you become. Not because you're playing games, but because you're finally acting like someone who has options. You're finally behaving like someone who values himself enough to walk away from situations that don't serve him. But there's a specific way to do this that actually works, and a way that completely backfires. This doesn't mean you become cold or cruel. This doesn't mean you ghost people or play manipulative games. This means you develop standards. This means you stop accepting breadcrumbs and start demanding the whole meal. This means you stop being so available to people who are barely available to you. But implementing these standards requires a specific framework that most people never learn. I know this is hard to hear, especially if you really care about this person. But caring about someone doesn't mean you have to accept scraps of their attention. Caring about someone doesn't mean you have to be their emotional safety net while they explore other options. Real care, genuine love, requires mutual respect, an effort. And there's a way to communicate this without saying a single word. Think about the people in your life who truly value you. Your best friends, your family members, the people who light up when they see your name on their phone. Do you have to chase them? Do you have to wonder if they want to hear from you? Do you have to strategize about when and how to contact them? Of course not, because when there's genuine interest and care, communication flows naturally. But here's how to create that same energy in romantic situations. So what should you do instead of texting her? Start texting yourself, not literally, but metaphorically. Start having conversations with yourself about what you actually want in a relationship. Start asking yourself why you're willing to accept so little from someone. Start examining why her validation has become so important to your sense of self-worth. But this inner work is pointless unless you channel it into specific external actions. Use this energy, this desire to reach out to someone who doesn't appreciate you and redirect it towards something productive. Hit the gym, call a friend you haven't spoken to in months, work on that project you've been putting off, read a book, learn a new skill, do anything that adds value to your life instead of subtracting from it. But there's a strategic reason why each of these activities works, and understanding that strategy amplifies the results. Here's what I want you to understand. You are not responsible for maintaining a connection with someone who isn't equally invested in maintaining it with you. You are not responsible for being the only one who cares. You are not responsible for single-handedly keeping a relationship alive. But knowing this intellectually is different from living it emotionally, and that gap is where most people get stuck. The right person won't make you feel like you're bothering them. The right person won't leave you on read for days. The right person won't make you question whether they want you in their life. The right person will show up consistently, communicate clearly, and make you feel valued and appreciated. But recognizing the right person is impossible if you're still operating from the wrong mindset. But you'll never find that person if you're too busy chasing someone who's running away from you. You'll never recognize genuine interest if you're too focused on trying to create interest when none exists. And here's the framework for breaking this cycle once and for all. So here's my challenge to you. Delete that unsent message. Put your phone in another room if you have to. Go do something that reminds you of who you are when you're not desperately seeking someone else's approval. But this challenge only works if you understand why you're doing it and what comes next. Because here's the truth they don't tell you in romantic comedies. The person who's meant for you won't make you chase them. They won't make you guess. They won't make you feel like you're fighting for their attention. They'll choose you back, clearly and consistently. But attracting this kind of person requires a complete transformation in how you show up in the world. Your time is precious. Your energy is finite. Your attention is a gift. Stop giving these things away to people who don't treasure them. Stop diminishing yourself for someone who doesn't see your worth. But here's the specific action plan for making this shift permanent. Never text her again. Trust me on this. Not because she doesn't deserve your communication, but because you deserve so much better than someone who makes you feel like you have to earn their basic respect and attention. But this decision is just the beginning of a much bigger transformation. You are enough, exactly as you are, for the right person. But you'll never believe that if you keep trying to be enough for the wrong one. And believing it is just the first step to living it.